Hey folks, Moxie Wu here again. Uh, just wanted to go over kind of like the daily routine or grind that you typically see when you're playing Genshin for a long time. For example, today I, check my resin as I get on online and, I see I have 140 and, you know, reflexively, unless it's Monday, I'll, condense that resin just because I like to. I maintain two accounts, so having the resin condensed is much more handy for me. Boop boop. And then because of that, once I do that, I feel like there's that anxiety lifted to make sure that the daily resin is already spent. And I'll just go down here to my favorite Guyon Stone Forest or the Geodomain to catch the geo butterflies, and hopefully I catch like the 3 to maintain even, but when you play on controller, a little harder sometimes to get to jumps and oh, got 3, perfect. Um, Many times I've missed that last one. That way I'll be one up more ready for the next time the reset comes around, and partially it's laziness, because I could go around and farm and maintain the account, but since I've been playing Genshin since the start, I don't really find like just mindlessly running around the world and grabbing geocrystal flies as fun as I used to. So it's much more enjoyable to pop in, do your dailies, get the resin spent, and then pop out. But for the sake of the video, I'll just show you that every once in a while I need to regain the flies that I got. So that's usually the route I take, and it's plenty of geocrystal flies for the time invested. It's kind of like a speed run. And then as you can see, I'm using Jean, Sucrose, Kujosara, and Raiden. It's not really a team, it's just for friendship basically. Hence why it's like that. I was trying to make like the showcase work with that, but I realize it's much harder to use Sucrose with throwing tails, especially if you have Sara in the party, because Sara unfortunately has to be the one before Raiden Shogun to drop, and then you're either swapping back to Sucrose twice or having Sucrose accidentally picking up the item or having that 0.5 second delay. So it felt super clunky trying to make that work, unfortunately, and even as much as I would want it to work. And then just because I'm on controller, a lot of times it's a lot harder to scroll through the map, so I use the adventure book, and I'll just click on that and boom, we're right where we need to be. And force of habit, but I usually will select the one for navigation and teleport to it, just because I play this game when I'm tired and occasionally lost my orientation, as it were. Like that, like there, see? I was just about to go the wrong way. And so it's a lot easier if you just do it that way. And, for me, I enjoy this commission especially because in this location, it's just because you don't really have to fight, but I'm trying to get that friendship XP for them. So easy that way. And next I'll check the next commission here. And this account luckily has done almost most of Watasumi Island as well as Sarai Island. I think I'm pronouncing it right. And the reason why is because I'm really trying to farm enough Primo Gems so I can get Raiden Shogun C3, or at least a try at it, because it'll be a 50-50 either way. And that way I'll have hopefully as well as a C6 star and kind of unlock even more of her potential. But as it is, ooh, forgot this team does not have a shielder. Ooh, gonna be a little rough. But that's the problem when you're running kind of like friendship teams sometimes, because you suddenly have to rely on things that you weren't really used to relying on. But Ball is so high invested into this count that she could just carry most of any of the dailies if need be, and I really enjoy the fact that she's kind of more highlighted in the team this way, because otherwise, unfortunately, since she is kind of like that burst character, it's too easy to kill everything with her. So, you know, that's fine that way. Speaking of which, I always thought, well, it was quite funny that she has the eye of story retouchment, but that's also part of the spoiler of the story. Um, and the main thing I really think, oh, I didn't catch one of these things. So I thought I did all this island, but I guess not. So I am going to follow this Celia around, which is really nice. Or why is it going back and forth though? Is it a part of a puzzle? Oh, it must be. Yeah. I really enjoy Raiden Shogun because actually she doesn't have too many voice lines when she's dashing or idle. So it's kind of nice when she's like, when you don't have a character that you have to constantly like either go to a map or similar if you're trying to focus on the music or trying to make a YouTube, for example, that sort of thing. So at least I really enjoy the fact that Raiden Shogun is quiet. Ooh, 2 more primos. I think. Ooh, okay. I think I do have a pull today, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll do the pull because I'm just pulling one at a time, but Abyss resets it a little bit and should be at like 76 pity anyway, so it's not gonna matter too much. So the weird thing about Kujo Sara is because you want to make sure her buff goes to the correct person. A lot of times I forget that the sequence is not E skill and then her ultimate. She has to use ultimate and then E skill. So it's kind of almost clunky that way, just because my muscle memory is the other way. Almost all characters you can hit this and then hit their burst, so that way you kind of cancel into it. But unfortunately, it's not the case for Kujo Sara, especially if you're trying to buff the correct teammate. So, especially when you're playing on control, that muscle memory is a little bit rough. But I guess I could just forget about it and not actually hit the feather. But I think I have a reflex to dash towards it because for a while I was playing the Archaea Petra support. So as soon as I see something shining on the ground, I lunge towards it, and probably I'll get out of that habit hopefully soon, but for now, it's not too bad. And Sucrose, I've been kind of slowly building up, and I'll showcase that later in kind of that budget player kind of style of playing, but she is quite phenomenal as a support. And the reason why is, you can use her with like a Beidou, Sucrose, Xingqiu, and then Ball. For the slots, and it works out really well for them just because you get a shielder out of it, and then you can just slice and dice without too much issue, and then finally get that Anemo Shred plus Sucrose with high elemental mastery as well is arguably one of the strongest supports that you can get in terms of just showing for damage showcases and similar. Oops. See, like, there's that muscle memory where I eventually accidentally did that instead. I think this on commission, if I remember, it was one of the most annoying ones, just because it just takes so long, and this balloon actually does take a lot of damage from this. But oddly, if you if you really wanted to make like another meme build, you can use Sucrose with Ball and just swirl her damage for this. See here, she gets the like random electro charges and stuff. Ooh, as long as I don't die here. But yeah, it's kind of funny that way. Oh, this one. Like I said, this transport balloon is pretty annoying just because I've actually failed it one time because I forgot to go ahead a little bit and also gather the enemies and similar. And this part right here can get pretty high for damage for the balloon. As you notice, I've already lost a third of it just from not paying too much attention to it. And I don't think it was this transport one, but there was one where there was a bunch of little exploding mines on the ground that if you didn't take care of them at the start, then you'd have almost no HP for the transport balloon. So at least Inazuma is kind of keeping you on your toes for the new commissions. So it's kind of nice that way, but thought I would just blitz through them. That way it would be more of a shorter YouTube. But hopefully you guys don't mind listening to the voice. And I say guys because unfortunately in Minnesota we always say you guys, kind of like you'll all say in the South or similar, and that's just unfortunately a bad habit where I know there's not just guys on the internet, and there's women and people who don't identify with any gender or similar like that. So please don't take any offense or try to cancel me because of that. And then, you know, after you do those dailies, you hit up Catherine and get your rewards, and then you're free from the curse of the friendship party, as it were. And you can feel free to use any character you like. One main thing I actually like having Hujosar was the option of not having to use Amber, because now you can have a faster person that's down there instead of just the first person that's up there. And then I usually just check the battle pass, you know, claim everything. See if I need to do any weeklies. Unfortunately, I kind of rushed through it because I was running low on time this week in general. I, you know, would try to complete the bounties or requests or forage toy items, cook things and stuff like that. But for now, you know, that's all I get out of it. And let's see here. I think I have 4 condensed, so usually try to get down to just 1 or 2 condensed, and just because, you know, I'm at the end game, I don't really need to spend the resin for anything else. I mean, I could try to get slight upgrades, as you saw on the account, for different things, but really don't need to, so I end up just kind of trying to use Raiden Shogun just to get her friendship up and similar. And remember, right, this domain I have to have the pyro characters because it doesn't work otherwise. So this is the emblem of Sever Fate domain, which I think domains in general just are based on luck a little bit, but for some reason I think there's like a well of luck. So like the first few weeks that you spend in the domain, as you saw from the pieces, are very lucky, and then as time goes on you just get less and less pieces that are actually decent for your roster or similar. And hopefully I can show this without feeling too rough, but he does have electoral damage resistance, so normally that ultimate would be a little bit higher, but get to see a nice little of how bad I am actually playing in terms of sequencing or remembering skills. But you know, I think my best time here was 32 seconds with Ganyu, but just because Raiden Shogun does have to use electricity as well as be kind of a quick swap, no, unfortunately nothing upgradable. It's a lot harder to recommend her, except for the fact that obviously she's here for the friendship XP. And if you didn't know, if you ever hit the dash button and you see that white aura, you can jump with the taller characters and go a little faster. I think it's called the bunny hop technique in Genshin Impact. Unfortunately, I keep forgetting to do her E at the beginning, but that's alright. And usually I just kind of keep attacking, because with 230 ER, she's actually very comfortable to play as a solo electro character. The problem is you have to keep autoing just so you get enough particles and similar. Otherwise, you know, she doesn't quite have her ultimate ready for the next run in this domain. One more second shaved off. Not bad for an electro carry. And we'll check these real quick, see if there's anything we want to record or similar, but doesn't look like it. So this is kind of like a typical day, and I don't mean it'll seem like I'm rushing it, as it were, but when you're a little low on time in terms of free time, at first I didn't understand it because in quarantine, we had almost like infinite amount of time, right? But having like, now I kind of understand where a game like Genshin is very, very appealing, just because, you spend 1 or 2 hours a day on it, or over the 2 accounts, and you get to enjoy the content and spending the resin, and you can move on and do other things you need for the day. So it's been pretty nice that way. And one thing that I really enjoy on this account is I have a C2 Zhongli, so I actually don't need to like refresh the shield with the hold version. So it's kind of nice when that's an option, because just ultimate and then swap out. Oh no. And this is pretty common as you get towards the end game and you don't feel like you have too much to build because you spent your resin and stuff like that. So I think I had one deal on a piece that I wanted to raise, if I'm right. No, guess not. I don't think Beidou had one, maybe? Yeah, this one, maybe. It's just an HP balloon, though. I don't think I need that either. Oh, here we go. This one had potential, that's what it was. And really, you just try to figure up slots when you're at that point, and I'll kind of probably do it in another video, and cover all the artifacts are similar, and yeah, just for entertainment value, we'll just take this up to +20, so you can see which items or what's substat it rolls, and hopefully that streamer luck thing is true, because definitely use another crit rate on it or energy recharge. Anything would be good. Ooh, yeah, and it did roll crit rate. 2.8. Probably the lowest you can roll, but still a very good, well-rounded flower overall. And then it gives me this, so I can actually have enough slots. And so that's, the spending, and actually probably won't do this one more time, just because once I get down to 1 condensed, it's a lot easier to remember in case I need to do something else with the resin. But since I've been in kind of like this pattern of kind of rushing and finishing the dailies as well, kind of forget. And the other thing I usually do is every 2 days, I should say every, basically, is it odd day? Yeah, odd day. So for example, today's the 14th, I won't check it right now, but I'll go to the Serenity Teapot. Well, might as well check it for the sake of the video. But then, because this thing fills up basically every 2 days, so especially when you're doing transitions and have to play on controller, you may not want to just claim the trust rank, because this is all going to be saved regardless for a couple days of it, so it's kind of nice that way. But that did remind me that I need to collect these. Oops. And that's what happens when you try to rush into a video, so you don't take up too much time of people. But yeah, this is kind of my new favorite thing to make. It's just iron chunks, and I don't really need them, obviously. It's just more for the weekly bonus, so I don't forget. Oh, gotta take care of my plants. There is a little achievement for getting your plants and stuff. Oh, there it is right now. And the nice thing about playing a controller and having a mouse on PC is you click on the mouse, you can actually auto pick up fast all the items, so it's kind of nice that way. And I usually just plant whatever I have the most of, except for, I believe, this one. I can plant valberries for a little bump up of numbers, because it counts it by how many you pick out. But as you can see, I already haven't gotten valberry farming or similar. And I try to plant Naku because I think all the other ones were pretty easy to get if I remember right. And once you do that, let's look at the achievement. Boop. And alright. Ooh, nice. Alright, well, and that is what kind of a day of Genshin looks like here. And I'll just keep recording because I do want to do my ritual for one poll, just because I bought that Vulcan Moon and I actually really enjoy doing one wish per day, even though it's probably not optimal because, you know, for a showcase or similar, might not ever get to that 10 pull, but hopefully with Spiral Abyss and saving the fish event for the last day, it'll all work out to be alright. And then before I log off, I usually try to make sure I'm on my friendship party, just so I remember to not have to do that later. And so the ritual here for polls is I'll go to languages, I'll switch from English to Japanese, and back out, and then go to Cecilia Garden, back out again, climb up to the rooftop, and, you know, stand right here in the middle, face Raiden Shogun, and then I'll trade Rish. I doubt we'll get lucky or anything, but that's alright. Just a 3-star. It's good to see. But as I tell people, is if you do the ritual 100% of the time, it'll either succeed 100% of the time or fail 100% of the time. So it's just funny that way how things work out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, whatever time it may be, and I'll see you in the next one. Sayonara.